Today, yet again, we put the spotlight on National Nutrition Week and we've got some exciting guests on the show. Lawyer turned fitness expert, Sohrabh Khushrushahi is the founder of SOHFIT. We've also got an ex-cricketer turned yogi. I'm talking about Sohrabh Khushrushahi, the founder of Sarva Yoga or ABC Studios. That and lots more is lined up on today's special episode where we talk about mental fitness, well-being and how you can take it in your own hands. All right, first up on the show is a conversation that I had with Sohrabh Khushrushahi, who was earlier a lawyer and now turned fitness expert, training the likes of Alia Bhatt and Ajay Piramal. Let's hear out this conversation that I had with him on the importance of physical fitness. All right, so we're celebrating National Nutrition Week right here on ET Now, and I'm in conversation with Sohrabh Khushrushahi right here at the SOHFIT headquarters. You must be feeling so proud looking at this because it's really been an interesting journey. Who'd have thought that a guy who was almost going to make partner at a reputed law firm is now the go-to name when it comes to fitness? How did it happen? Tell me a little bit about the journey.
I mean, I don't know about the go-to name, but it was just, I mean, I was a lawyer for 15 years. Kind of got to me after a point, didn't really enjoy the corporate side of things anymore. And fitness was something I was passionate about from day one. It was something that kind of resonated with me from the age of 13 or 14. Wanted to play cricket for India, didn't happen. So kind of figured the best next way to kind of work with cricketers was to become a fitness, strength and conditioning coach. So that's what we kind of started with, and the idea was to create a community of people that would enjoy being with each other and enjoy training, and hopefully over time we've done that, and we'll continue to do that going forward. So it's been fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's very difficult because I'm guessing the transition from law to doing something that was at the time, 2017, when you started, probably not. It wasn't probably considered the right step. Did you face any adversities then? Was it a smooth transition?
It's never smooth. Yeah. When you start off something that you've not done in your life, and you're starting from scratch.
You had, I mean, your knowledge about fitness and stuff is all what you've gained on your own. It's not.
Of course, and studying from time to time, and the idea was to kind of make fitness accessible to a lot of people and make it fun. So. Lots of adversities. My parents didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing. I come from a good old Parsi family, which kind of believed in working hard. So it was lawyers, doctors, chartered accountants. And when I told my mom for the first time, I think she was shocked. When I told my in-laws for the first time, they were shocked. I remember going to a party and it was filled with lawyers, and I met a really senior counsel who knew my mom really well. And when we were talking about what I was going to do with my life, and I said, I've quit the law. And he's like, oh, so what are you going to do? Counsel practice. And I said, no, I'm going to become a coach. And he's like, you're going to be a trainer. And he said that really loudly in a party filled with people. Yeah. So it was a little embarrassing, but I was pretty convinced about what I was going to do. So it didn't deter me from what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been hard, but you have family support.
I bet you want to call him up today and say, hey, look where I am.
No, his daughter trained with me for a bit, so we'll put it that way. So that was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, since we're celebrating National Nutrition Week in the country, I want to talk about the perception of fitness in India, because a lot of it is about, hey, you're working out, but you haven't lost X amount of kilos. That seems to be the perception. Or, hey, you work out regularly, but how come your arms are like this? Or your tummy is not, you don't have a six-pack. Is that a perception that you think needs to change?
Of course. I mean, unfortunately, people relate fitness just to the way they look. or how much weight they've lost. And for me, that's, I mean, for all of us here, all the coaches here, we want to change that. We want fitness to become more of a lifestyle. We want people to have fun while they're training. I think that's super, super important. They've got to want to train, not need to train. There's a slight difference between the two. And that's what we're trying to do and trying to create. It's hard. A lot of people still kind of resonate with the whole, I haven't lost weight, so if I'm not losing weight, then this is not working for me and I need to try something new. And you're always looking for the new hack. But fitness is very simple. You work hard, you put in the effort, you stay consistent, you get results. What those results are and how fast they come varies from individual to individual. But as long as you kind of stick to a process, you'll see the results. So for me, that's more important.
Yeah. And how big a role does food play in this? Because I mean, I feel like I'm perennially having that argument. I'm always like, oh, workout is X, but food plays a big part of it. If I want to really look fit, then I need to watch what I eat.
I mean, you need to have fun. I'm not going to take that away. I think people need to have fun. But food's very important. Workout's only a part of what you're going to do.
How much of a percent would you say if you had to?
I mean, in your entire day, your workouts may be 10 or 20% of what you're going to do. So I think there's 23 hours outside the gym or outside a training atmosphere that you kind of spend. So you've got to kind of get that right. And food plays a massive role because food is something that we're going to do through the day. Workouts just once. So for me, food is important. But, you know, we live in a world today where if you ask people to eat good, whole, clean food, they think they're dieting. You ask them to eat wholesome food, you ask them to eat meat, vegetables, fruits, grains, pulses, and they think they're dieting because you're not giving them their pastas and their dessert and their ice cream and their, So unfortunately, the world we live in, that's become a diet. It's not. It's just eating normal food. But food plays a very, very important role, and people need to understand that. And how you shape up or how your fitness kind of evolves over a period of time will depend on your food for sure.
So if you could maybe divulge, I'm not saying secrets, it's not something that's unknown, but maybe some tips if someone is looking to, say, chop a few pounds, become healthier, fitter, what would you say would be the course of action? What are the do's and the don't do's?
I mean, there are quite a few, but I think the one thing that people need to kind of make sure they get is their protein. For me, that's the most important thing. That's your building block. So if you can hit your protein numbers on a daily basis, you know, and work around that as much as possible, you'll be fine. So
calorie intake is critical, monitoring it, yes or no?
I mean, 100%. If you look at it, right, food and fitness is very, very, very simple. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It's just simple. But what people kind of make a mistake with is they think that calories is any kind of calories. You can't have any sort of calories. You just got to be smart about the kind of calories you consume. So I'd like people to hit their protein numbers, and if they hit that, then everything else will kind of take care of itself because you'll feel full more, you won't kind of reach out for the snacks, and you'll be much better off. So I also follow like an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I'll eat everything that I'm supposed to eat and that's good for me, wholesome, clean food. 20% of the time I'll go out and have fun and I'll do what I want to do and eat what I want to eat. So I kind of try and follow that rule.
So there's no desserts, no carb rule with you?
No, I think you need to eat your carbs. You shouldn't run away from them, but you've got to be smart about the kind of carbs you eat, well, 80% of the time. And when you're out with your friends and you want to have fun, you should go ahead and have fun. So that's important. So you got to strike a balance with everything in life. So I prefer people striking a balance rather than going extreme.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who likes to cut out a particular macro. So you want to have your protein, you want to have your carbs, you want to have your fat. You don't want to cut out carbs. Carbs is not the enemy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a lot of people treat carbs as the enemy. It's not. It's the kind of carbs that you eat and how often you eat them. And if you can balance that out, you'll be fine.
So say, you know, there's a lot of people who maybe say, I have a very busy schedule. I don't have the time to squeeze in a workout every day. So I have, say, 20 minutes every day. What do you think? Of course, it's individual. I mean, you can't cater to everyone. But if you had to say, if you do these 3 or 4 or 5 exercises daily, you'll be good. What would you say they are?
I mean, it totally depends. Each person's different.
Course, yeah.
But my favorite exercises, if I had to do them every single day, the ones I would do is a squat,
Okay.
I just absolutely love squatting, so that's one of the exercises that I would do. I'd try and run if I could, because that kind of saves time. Push-ups, very simple. Everyone can do them wherever you are. You don't really need a gym for that. I personally love the deadlift, but maybe not every single day. That's about it. I mean, stick to basic. Pick a lower body, pick an upper body, do some cardio, and you should be fine in 20 minutes. 20 minutes is better than doing nothing at all.
Yeah, I agree. And let's talk about you and the business, and how many people do you cater to? I believe that it was during the pandemic when maybe things really catapulted for you online. Is that true? And is this the physical space that you have? Are you looking to grow more?
I mean, things, of course, on the online side, we existed, our online space kind of existed before we started the offline part, or before the pandemic. So the pandemic, of course, in some strange way helped us a lot grow on the online side. Not ideal for everyone else, but it kind of worked for us. So the pandemic was good time for us in the online space, and then we kind of drifted into this offline studio. The studio's only been about a year old.
Yeah.
It's not been that long. Do we want to kind of grow into more studios? I don't know. I might have to cut myself into 20 pieces to kind of get there. But yes, of course, we'd love to kind of grow as a team. That's the idea. We want to reach out to as many people as possible. So while we kind of continue to grow those numbers, we don't want to sacrifice on the quality that we're offering people. And as long as we can find that balance, we'll be okay. And I'll be okay. I won't ever kind of try to get too many numbers and sacrifice on the quality.
You don't want to compromise on the quality.
Not on that.
Yeah.
Not on that.
So since we can't have 20 of you everywhere, would you be open to maybe, hiring someone who could potentially take up that role as, say, a CEO, looking at external funding? Has there been any of that, or have you grown organically?
I mean, so far everything's been organic. We've kind of been self-sufficient. Whether we kind of accept funding or not, it totally depends on the kind of investor we get on board and what we do with that.
Have you been in talks in the past?
We've spoken to a few people. But I mean, like I said, for us, it's about kind of getting quality over quantity. So even the kind of investor we get on board has to understand what we're trying to do and understand where we're trying to grow and what we're trying to grow with. So as long as that kind of matches, we're fine. But we don't want to take money just for the sake of taking money. For us, it's about kind of actually making use of what we do. Open to everything in life. I mean, I switched careers at the age of 35, so I'm open to everything in life.
Never say never.
Just need to kind of figure out the right balance.
Okay, and you are, one of your clients is, of course, Alia Bhatt, as we all know. Tell us a little bit more about how involved she is, or what her fitness routine is like with a hectic life.
She's super committed. She's very hardworking. Yeah, she's very hardworking. She knows what she needs to do. She's very involved in her training. She wants to know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, which makes it fun because then you can't really get away with just doing things for the sake of it. Everything has a reason. It depends on the movie and the role that she's playing at that point in time. So we have to kind of keep tweaking her routine. But we've now been training together for 5-6 years. So we know each other pretty well, and it works. It's a lot of fun kind of training.
Yeah. Strength training or cardio? What do you prefer?
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Fitness for you is?
A lifestyle.
The fittest person you know, apart from yourself.
Fittest person I know, as in I've
or
met.
I mean, or who you've seen. It could be a star, a celebrity, someone internationally.
I mean, I've had the pleasure of working with some of the boys at Mumbai Indians at the IPL. So I'd say those boys are pretty fit, and it's a lot of fun kind of working with them. So yeah.
Okay. What do you think would be the message that you want to give people who say, I don't want to work out, I hate working out?
Well, find something you enjoy. I think for me, training does not have to be getting into a gym and working out and lifting weight.
Okay. So you can play
training
sport,
could be playing a sport. So if you like playing a sport, play it twice a week or thrice a week, depending on the kind of time you have available to you. Just move. I mean, for me, fitness is movement. It doesn't necessarily mean weights and muscle. It just means movement, and try and move as much as possible. So play a sport, dance, go for Pilates, do your yoga, do whatever you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Just do more of it.
Okay. And the best client you've had?
You're going to get me into trouble. All of them. all of them.
So diplomatic. And I read that you said that even when you're at the age of 50, you want to be able to outrun your son. Are you on target to do that?
100%. He's never kicked.
Oh wow, good for you. Okay, Sohrab, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.